Hi YouTube, this is Christina and this is my IVF story, and we have used a surrogate, so I wanted to be able to touch on a few different bases and let you know what's been going on and how this whole thing works. I know that when I first started this journey, I had no idea how the whole thing worked. I had so many questions. I didn't know anything. How much does it cost? How does it happen? What do you do? Where do you find a surrogate? How does the legal part work of it? Like, I had every question in the world and I didn't even know where to look for answers. So I turned to Google, I turned to Facebook groups, which was a disaster. I tried everything that I could in order to answer my questions, and eventually I just ended up walking the walk, which taught me more than anything else. But I wanted to be able to kind of tell you guys what I have learned. So in the event that you have the same questions that I did, you are not as in the dark as I was. Maybe I can answer some of these questions for you. Maybe I can give you a little bit of hope that this is something that is possible for you. So I will start out by telling you that I'm a mom already. I have 4 children of my own, naturally, biologically, that are mine. They are 13, 11, 7, and 6, 2 boys and 2 girls. But as of a couple of weeks ago, I got married and my husband has never had any children of his own and he wants them. So I'm doing this. This is happening. Which is very exciting and scary and a lot of things all at the same time. So when I had originally decided that we were looking into doing this, I already knew 100% I had to have a surrogate because I had a hysterectomy in 2012 when I had my 4th child. And so I had to start looking for somebody else that would be willing to carry my baby or babies up. And I started looking in different groups. I looked at agencies, and what's funny is that, like, I don't know, maybe 10 years ago, I had looked into becoming a surrogate myself, but I already had a couple of C-sections, and so I was kind of disqualified because of that. I had too many C-sections and I wanted more kids of my own. So that didn't happen. But I kind of got a little bit interested in what it was at that point because I knew a couple people who had done it, and I thought it was a really cool thing to be able to give somebody a child who otherwise would not be able to have one. Little did I know that here, 10 years later, I would be needing the services of a surrogate. So we started our journey basically in June of this year when we found out that not only do I not have a uterus and would have to have a surrogate, but also that my husband has an extremely low sperm count. Normal sperm count's between 50 and 40 million, and his is at 16,000. So it's extremely, extremely low. His chances of natural conception are like so small. So originally, I felt really bad because I felt like I was going to be holding him back from being able to have children because I didn't have a uterus and it was going to be so hard for me to have babies anyways. But once I found out that he had such a hard time conceiving naturally anyways, it was kind of like, oh, this was a match made in heaven. This is supposed to happen. So we started looking into surrogacy, trying to figure out how to budget for it. We put it in our 5-year plan. How is this going to work? How much is this going to cost? Well, I was super fortunate. I got really open and raw with a bunch of girls in a private group that I have and talked about the fact that eventually this is something I would like to do, and I had a friend come forward who had always wanted to be a surrogate who had offered to carry for us. So wow, boom, first problem solved. I highly recommend doing that if you are not somebody who is very scared about being open about things that are going on in your life. Ask, because if you don't ask, you never know. You might have somebody who would love to carry your baby. So luckily, that's what happened for me. So I found a girl who was a friend of mine, lived in my town, willing to carry our babies. So now the next step after that is figuring out what doctor to use, how much is this going to cost, what are we going to do? So she actually was the one that found our doctor. She saw on a Facebook ad that there was a doctor in St. Louis, Missouri, which is actually where I am right now. His name is Dr. David Elan Simckes, S-I-M-C-K-E-S. He's located in St. Peters, Missouri. And she found his practice only charged $7,000 for IVF, which was amazing compared to the $25,000 everywhere else. And so I very quickly called and basically threw my credit card number at the people behind the desk because I was like, I know that I can pay for this because $7,000, I got a $10,000 credit card. I can pay for this. So I called. I paid for my stuff before it ever even started, and then I booked flights and flew here because flights to St. Louis, Missouri are really cheap. Flew here with my surrogate. We had our medical screening. This all happened within a matter of a couple of weeks. Medical screening, we were both completely cleared. Everything was perfectly fine. It was absolutely crazy. A week after that, she started on Lupron, which is one of the medications that causes her uterine lining to start to build so that it can actually take on the embryos and the embryos will attach. Then a couple weeks after that, I started on my medications. So September the 9th, I started on my medications. Mind you, our very first appointment was August the 17th. Yesterday was September the 17th, and I had my second monitoring appointment, which consisted of an ultrasound and blood work, and my ultrasound revealed that I had about 35 egg follicles ready to go. So that's a lot. I'm really excited about that number. This coming Thursday will be my retrieval, and the following Tuesday, we'll be transferring those eggs over to our surrogate, our gestational carrier, who will be carrying, hopefully, twins for the whole pregnancy. So this is a whole lot of stuff going on in a very short period of time, but it's very exciting all at the same time too. So there's a lot of little factors that go into this that people don't usually think to ask. How much is a medication? Because the medication is not included in your cost of IVF. So our medication, because our doctor uses a pharmacy overseas, he gets a crazy good discount. So the medications were only about $2,500, where they're usually about $6,000 if you go through the United States. Another reason why I highly recommend my doctor. He's awesome. So he likes to save you money and be able to get this done for you, you know, in the best way possible, the most affordable way possible, which is so just, I love him for that, because I didn't have an extra $50,000, $60,000, $70,000, $80,000 sitting around to do this. I can make, you know, 10 or 20 work, but that much is just not going to happen. So we started all of our stuff, all of our meds, everything happened, everything's been great, all of our blood work's been fine. We've had a total of now 3 appointments. The first appointment was August the 17th for our consult and med clearance. Then we had to come back on September the 10th for our ultrasound and blood work, which was fine. We went and saw a local LabCorp in our town the Thursday after the 10th, so I think that was the 13th, and had blood drawn, everything was fine, and then flew back up for the 17th. Now I am here for the next 9 days, well 8 days now, 9 days as of yesterday. We're going to go for retrieval. My husband gets here tomorrow. We go for retrieval on Thursday, and then we have transfer day next Tuesday, which is super exciting. And if you don't know too much about IVF or about surrogacy and transfer and all of that, transfer, after they put the embryos back, well, not back, but they transfer the embryos to the surrogate, typically you can start testing for pregnancy 5 days later. So we should be able to know if we're pregnant, maybe, hopefully, by September the 30th, which is next Sunday, which is crazy, absolutely nuts. So just wanted to update you and let you know like what's going on. This is what is going on. I will come back on to make another video on Thursday and show you my doctor and what's going on, and maybe I might even get him to record my procedure, and I will post it if I can get him to. So I hope you're having a great day wherever you're at, and thanks for watching.